Good morning, everyone. Today is our final week of our 8-week training. Today we're going to cover dialogue and what to say, what not to say when you're meeting a new prospect. So we're going to cover buyers, we're going to cover sellers, and we're going to cover some of the things that most agents do wrong or say wrong when trying to prospect a new client. So first of all, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in for these last few weeks that we've been doing these trainings. I'm just going to take a few moments right now and just share it with everyone now so we can get a better audience. Just give us a second. There we go. Okay, we should be good now. Okay, everyone. So first thing we're going to cover, just want to make sure that everything looks good. First thing we're going to cover are some of the types of leads that you guys are going to encounter. Just want to make sure we're live. Yep, we're looking good. All right. So first things first, guys, I wanted to share with you this one slide that we have here on our right-hand side. A while back, we did this training on how you can encounter 3 types of leads. You have your cold lead, you have your warm lead, and you have your hot lead. Okay, so an example of a cold lead is someone who's going to answer the phone and say, I don't like realtors, I will never work with a realtor, my husband's a realtor, my wife's a realtor, I'm a realtor, please don't call me. Like that's the kind of person you would take as a cold lead. Now, those people, they may have no intention of ever using a realtor. So you got to know when to pick your battles. Now, people like this, you may not want to spend too much time on, because if they're very difficult in the beginning, they're probably going to be a difficult person throughout the transaction if you're able to convert them. Hey, John. Good morning. So I would say with these people, think very, I would say, deeply into this before you take on someone that's going to give you a hard time like that. If someone, tries to, give you a hard time and curse you right in the beginning, just move on to the next one. No, there's no worries. You don't have to win every single one of your calls. You just got to win a small percentage, because small percentages add up to big results after a while. Next thing we're going to cover are warm leads. These are the ones we're going to focus on the most, because warm leads are the ones that most people don't convert, but they end up converting themselves sooner or later, and we may not be around for that. So these are the people we have to spend most of our time on. These are the people that are going to say to you, how much is my home worth? Oh, you know what, I haven't considered it, but it might be a good idea. Or is right now a good time to sell? Those types of questions only come from people that have intentions, or maybe you planted a seed in that person. So the key to prospecting is not, and meeting new clients is not just to try to sell the person on their first contact. The key to prospecting is identifying people who are sellable and people who have intentions, and pursue them as long as it takes. I've had clients in the past when I prospected that I used to have to follow up with multiple times. I'm talking about like a year. Like there would be times I'd be following up people like every month, 12 months straight, and then the person was like, wow, man, you don't give up. And then we finally get their listing. It just takes time, guys. But without a good follow-up strategy, without a good follow-up plan, you're never going to be good at sales, because most people do not convert on the first phone call. They shouldn't. They don't trust you. They don't know you. A lot of people are going to make an appointment with you and cancel with you. You know, people are like, oh, they canceled. They're not serious. No, they're serious. They just got cold feet for whatever reason that day. But you got to catch them another day when they're warm again, right? And then you got your hot buyers who are like, yeah, we're interviewing agents. Oh yeah, send me over the paperwork. You know, we've literally had instances where the guy's like, yes, send me the paperwork. I'll list my house now. Can we just meet in person? No, I live in another state. I want to sell this house. Send me the paperwork. You know, like there's times and that's going to happen too. But, you know, you got to take the good with the bad. You know, you just can't rely your business on a low-hanging fruit, because most likely someone's going to be there before you and take those people before you get a chance to. So, you know, obviously with time you might get one or two of those, but you do have to put a lot of emphasis on the warm leads. Okay, so we've established there's 3 types of leads: cold leads, warm leads, and hot leads. Now there's also 3 types of agents. And you guys may agree with or disagree with this. We have our weak agents, have no clue what to say, and have a hard time even picking up the phone or knocking on the door. Those are weak agents. Now, good thing about weak agents is they don't have to be weak forever. They just have to make a conscious decision on what they want to do, whether they really want to be in sales, or whether their pain is bad enough that they want to, you know, learn how to do a successful prospecting plan. They can become good agents. They can even become beasts. So that leads us to our next category. Our next category are good agents. Good agents get engagement and they talk to people on the phone, but they never close. They never close the prospect. They don't know what to say. They feel comfortable closing. They feel like the person's going to think they're too salesy, you know, and that's not the case. The case is people want to be closed, but if they feel like they're closing it themselves. So there's a magic to this, and it only comes with practice and practice and practice. So we're going to talk today about how to create engagement and then close our prospects, okay? You can't have one without the other. You definitely can't close somebody on engaging with them, and you can't engage them without closing on them. So it's, you know, it's a marriage. The two have to exist in the same conversation. Next category is our beasts. This is what we're all going to strive to be. We're going to strive to be beasts on the phone, you know, when we're meeting people, when we're in a room of strangers. You know, we're going to become beasts. This means that we learn how to control the conversation without the party even knowing it. You understand? Like, you follow me, right? Good. So when you get the other party engaged and they're asking you questions and they're arriving to the conclusions that you want them to arrive to, then you know you're doing a good job. When they're asking you how soon can you come over, then you know you're doing a great job. You're doing a fabulous job. Okay? All right, next thing. Your job is not to close everyone. It's not. You're not supposed to close everyone. If you did, then this would be the easiest job in the world, and there would be a line of people lined up to be realtors. It's not that. Being a realtor is a very hard job. Being in sales is a very hard job. I'm sure there's people that sell a lot harder things than we do. We sell, you know, homes. People want homes. I know I feel bad for the guy who still has to sell magazine subscriptions. You know, like there's things that people don't want. So, or
encyclopedia.
You know, life. You know, life insurance. People are like, I don't want to die. I'm not going to die. Don't sell me life insurance. But there's people who do very well selling life insurance. So, under this category of your job is not to close everyone, first thing you got to realize is that your job is not to close. Your job is to close the closable. Okay, only the closable, not the people who don't want to be closed. The people who don't want to be closed and don't want to be bothered, you don't have to run your spiel on them. You know, you could just change the subject. If they don't want to sell, oh, you know what? That sucks, man. This weather's terrible, isn't it? Oh my God. How long did they take you home the other day? Maybe talk about something else. You know, just change the subject. You know, and then maybe they'll come around to like, you know, you're a nice guy. You know, I do have a friend who's selling his house, and I'll refer him your information. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You know. Now, next thing is, let go of the people who are not ready. You know, let them go. You know, we're going to close the closable. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. We're going to get them out of the way. But we're going to let go of the people who are not ready. Those people who are not ready are the people who say, you know what, I got to, you know, think about it. You know, right now I'm in, just signed a lease again, that's for buying. For a seller, they would say something like, you know what, my kids just started school this year. We're going to wait and hold off until, you know, summer. You know, those things. So they're not closable. But that means that they're not off our grid altogether. That just means that they're not ready today. And we're going to have to put those people in our drip campaigns and follow up with them periodically. Okay, so those are them. So lastly, you got to think of this as a game of chess. Okay, if you're thinking of prospecting and conversations as a game of chess, you'll never look at it the same ever again. Because it's really, when you think about it, it's an art. It's not just, hey, how you doing? My name is Louis. You saw this house, and I was wondering if you're interested in it still. Oh, no, you're not? Okay, no worries. Like, no, like, think about it. Like, that's like starting a chess game and just having your queen seized in, like, the first move. It's like, it's really bad. You have to like look past that. I'm like, oh, oh, so you were in the market before? Really? What made you get out? Is there something that happened? Did you get qualified? Did you not get qualified? Was there a problem with your credit? Is there something that you have a question on that maybe you need elaboration on? Like, if the person is willing to speak to you, speak to them. You never know. That person might have just told you no because they don't know you, and they might be like, oh, I don't know, this guy, I don't want to be bothered. I'm watching I'm watching like a sports game right now. I'm watching something, and then the guy, you might catch him off guard. I'm like, wow, this guy really knows what he's talking about. He cares. I'm going to work with him, So try to make your conversations just a tad bit longer and not just be like, hey, you want information on this home, or did you want to find out what your home was worth? Oh, you're good? Okay, goodbye. Like, no, you try to keep the dialogue going. And we're going to try that. We're going to try it today. Someone will always win, right? In the game of chess, there's always a zero sum, right? Someone always wins. There's a winner and there's a loser. There's no ties in chess. Someone's going to win. So will it be you or will it be the prospect? That's what you got to ask yourself. So, you can turn this into a game. Keep track. Like, all right, today I'm going to make 10 phone calls. Some of these I'm going to win. Some of these I'm going to lose. And some of these are going to be neutral, like stalled because I could follow up with this person, right? So some of them, the game is still on. The game is just postponed to a later date. So you got to think about it. If you look at it like that, you guys will never look at prospecting or talking to people ever the same again, right? So enough about this stuff. So we're going to talk about some dialogue now, right? So I created one buyer dialogue that works really well. When I used to work with buyers, this dialogue used to have people like in my office all the time. This dialogue, and Jim, I'm sorry I haven't given this to you sooner. I should have. It just dawned on me today when I was preparing for it. One of the best dialogues that I've ever created was one of the simplest ones. So this is a buyer dialogue that I have here on the screen. Okay. Now, simplicity is the key to success. I'll be honest with you, right? Overcomplicating things just makes people feel uncomfortable. All right. So I'm going to play out this dialogue, and I'm going to say it a few times, and then I want to role play with one of you guys. Okay. So if the client calls me, I'm going to be the realtor. The client's going to call me. He's going to say, hello, I was calling about 123 Main Street. I wanted to know more information. Right. So now I'm going to respond to the client. I'm going to say, yes, thank you for calling. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Right. The name is important. The name is the most important thing in this first, 10 seconds of this conversation. The reason why is because from now on, you're going to call that person by their name every single time. Okay. That starts to build like a bond, like a kinship, because now the person feels like you know them. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My name is Tom. Okay. This is what Tom is saying. Okay. So I start my sentence with, Tom, unfortunately, that home just went under contract. You would not believe the amount of offers we had on that one, but I am very glad you called because we actually specialize in homes in this area. Do you have a moment? May I ask you a question? And just stop. Don't say a single word. And the client's going to say, yes. What's your price range? Client might say $500,000. Okay, then I'm going to say, what amount of taxes has your loan officer used to calculate your payments? In other words, I just asked the person if they've ever been pre-qualified without asking them, have you been pre-qualified? So this is a way of getting your client to give you the answers you need without feeling like you're digging too deep into their personal information. So the client might have really been qualified by a person. By a person, that means they're serious. The guy might say $10,000. Okay, that's what the taxes he used. How soon would you be looking to move? Right, I'm already engaging him, so now I'm not even asking for permission anymore to ask questions. I'm just asking them. The person is going to say, in the next 3 months. Now I know I got 2 to 3 questions. Okay, the third one is obviously going to be, do you have an agent? Are you working with an agent? Because once you have those 3, you have a viable buyer. Okay. If the person says in the next year and a half, then maybe, I want to work with that person right away. Let me just keep them on the drip campaign. But let's just say the person said the next 3 months. Then I will say, perfect. We have some new inventory coming to the market soon that is not on the MLS yet. Would you be interested in learning more about these opportunities? The client's probably going to say something like, yes, send them over. And I would say, Tom, I'm very sorry, but we're not allowed to send unlisted properties. Would you be available for a few moments later this week or weekend? Sure. And then I'm going to say, okay, my schedule looks good Saturday morning. Let's say around 12 a.m. or I'm sorry, 12 a.m. 10 a.m. at my office. The client will say, great. Tom, can you please give me your email address and I will share with you the appointment with you. So now I have the appointment shared and I have his email address just in case he backs out of the appointment. If he backs out of the appointment, now I got him in a drip campaign. You understand? So I've pretty much met every requirement I have. Once he comes to my office, then I'll have the conversation with him. these are the properties we have. Where you're working with a realtor. And if they say, no, I'm not working with a realtor, or I had a realtor, but he sucks, or whatever, then okay, now it's time to pull out your CIS and your buyer's agreement. You explain to them how you work. And then after you build some rapport, then you get them to sign that. You guys understand? Good. So very simple dialogue, but you're getting the person within less than a 3-minute conversation into your office. Once you get someone to come into your office, that means they're serious. That means they're really serious. If the person says, we're just looking on the internet right now, like we're comfortable just looking on the internet, that's not cool, because what's going to happen is you're going to drive around in circles, guys. You guys are going to keep looking at properties that are not on the market anymore. Haven't you noticed that every time you call on a home that's under contract? Yeah, that happens all the time. Well, come to my office and I'll show you exactly what is on the market. That way you're not spinning your wheels with properties that aren't available. It'll take you literally less than 15, 30 minutes to come to my office and see everything. And I'll send you away with a list of properties. Sound good? So that's what you give them. You give them benefit. You always give them like something that they walk away with. It can't always be, can you come so I know you're serious? No, it's not about you. It's about them. So you always have value every time you ask them to do something. Same thing if we're working with a seller. If we're working with a seller, we're going to add value to have us over their house. There has to be something for them of benefit. It can't be all about Jim. It can't be all about Alejandro. It has to be about them. All right. So let's run this back. Alejandro, you could be the agent. I'm going to be the client. All right. I'm going to say to you, okay, you're going to be the agent. So I'm going to say, hello, I was calling about 123 Main Street. I wanted to know more information.
Yes, thank you for calling. I'm sorry, did I catch your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Louis.
Hi, Louis. Hi, Louis. Unfortunately, the home just went under the contract because we had so many offers and they were over asking price. But we do specialize on the area. So if you like to know which properties are available right now, I can definitely help you with that. Okay.
You went a little bit off script. Try to stay out. You could deviate a little bit, but you have to have these questions in there. You have to ask, do you have a moment? May I ask you a question?
Okay.
Because you want them to feel like they're in control. You understand? So I'm going to want you guys to really practice these scripts and get them down to like that. So that way you don't ever have to think what I have to say. It's all second nature. So run it back to here. Say, Louis,
unfortunately, that home went just on the contract. You will not believe the amount of offers we had on that one. But I'm very glad you called because we actually specialize in homes in this area. Do you have a moment? May I ask you a question?
Sure. What's up?
What is your price range?
It's about $500,000.
Okay. What amount of taxes do your loan officer use to calculate on your payments?
About $10,000 on that one.
How soon would you like to move to this house?
We moved yesterday if we find the right house.
Perfect. We have some new inventory coming to the market soon. That is not on the MLS yet. Will you be interested in learning more about these properties, this opportunity?
Sure, send them over. I'll give you my email.
Tom, I'm very sorry, but we are not allowed to send unlisted properties. Will you be available for a few moments later this week or weekend?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, my schedule looks good Saturday morning. Let's say around 12 a.m. at my office.
Okay, 12 a.m. is in the middle of the night. You want to do it at 12 p.m.?
I work 24/7.
I like that. I like that. Okay, so yeah, great. That sounds good. And then you close me. Right.
Luis, can you please give me your email address and I will share the appointment with you?
All right, great. My email address is louis@gmail.com. All right, so now you got yourself everything you needed in that conversation. You didn't keep him on the phone too long where it was kind of like, he was being annoyed, and you got to the point and you got everything basically, okay?
Yeah, I think this is a great dialogue because I'll be getting calls and for like property that have been on the contract already, and I don't really know how to approach them.
Yeah, under a contract properties are great. Like if you think about it, right? If there's a really great property in our office, it's only going to last for about a week, right?
That's it, yeah.
So take that listing, take that property and put it on Craigslist, put it on our Facebook groups, put it everywhere. Even though you know it's under contract, the seller may still be accepting backup offers, but what it's doing is it's generating leads to call you. And once you get these people to call you, then all you have to do is run this dialogue and then find them something else. Very simple.
Yeah, this is for somebody that called you that's a buyer, right?
Yeah, someone calls off a sign, someone comes off a lead, someone calls from Zillow, anywhere, any buyer that calls in. Usually the buyers call in. That's what they do.
Now, what about like those leads you gave me where I have the number, I'm trying to call them for the buyer?
Well, simple. You could just modify it a bit.
It's my-
Just modify it a bit. We'll work on a modification in the beginning. But the most important thing would be addressing the person by the name and then asking, you would not believe the amount of, traction we've been having on homes recently in that area. Just modify it just a tad, and you can still run the rest of it the same way.
Sometimes the conversion one has the house they looked at and just send me, okay, just look at this one today. So I can always say, well, that one's got a lot of.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, our next dialogue that we're going to cover is the seller script dialogue.
I can't read this.
This one, the smaller one? Yeah, this is going to be a little bit hard to read. I'm going to try to magnify it a bit. Hopefully everyone can see it. I'll move it around so people can get a better view of it. Okay, so what created was a flow chart, which Petros graciously made for us.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is really, really a really nice thing. We found something like this for investors, and we tweaked it for real estate agents, which was really good. So thank you, Petros, for that. Okay, so what this is going to show is if the person runs a dialogue and the person says yes or no, which direction to take, which is good because sometimes you don't know. You understand? So you guys could literally do your role playing with these scripts and just run them over and over and over and over and over again until you got it down to a science, and then you guys could just make this a practical everyday thing. Okay, so if is this the owner of, that would be my conversation if I call someone, right? Let's just say I call someone, I would say, hi, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? If the person says yes, then I'm going to take this that comment dialogue right here, and I would say, good, my name is Louis. The purpose of my call is I wanted to know if you would ever consider selling your property, right? Then we move over here. If you were to sell, how much money would make you happy? That's a valid question you can ask them. You can deviate from these things. It doesn't have to be what's here, but this is good that you guys get an idea of what to say. It doesn't have to be exactly that. Well, the person might say, well, I'm not really sure, what my home is worth. And then you would say, why are you willing to sell, if you don't mind me asking? The keywords to listen for while seller explains are divorce. That's obviously, or offer the condolences if that's the case. Motivated, if they need to sell or are seriously interested, this could work, right? So figure out if they're really motivated, like what their motivation is for. And